Part 86. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 851. Chapter 851 Love at First Sight. Ji Huan and Rong Li were invited to attend the dinner party of the luxury brand BG. They are both VIP customers of BG and spend tens of millions every year. Ji Huan is keen on buying various brooches, cufflinks, watches, etc. for Zhang Junlin. Rong Li's ring is basically entrusted to their family to find the main stone and customize it privately. Except for Lu Ziwen, the three Black Hawks who don't like to spend money, Rong Li and Ji Sun are both big customers of several major luxury brands. The dinner was lavishly decorated, and the two of them sat at a table with BG directors. In addition to the big bosses, there were also two spokespersons from Asia, one male and one female, who were domestic celebrities. Both of them are wearing the season's new styles. The female star's earrings, necklaces, bracelets, and rings are all brand products, while the male star's brooches, earrings, and watches are low-key and luxurious. Ji Sun was at home in this kind of social situation. He had a great time chatting with the two spokespersons because he was separated by a mountain. His passionate eyes seemed to have a sense of sophistication when he looked at people. 5 years ago, Ji Sun was the one that all the rich women wanted. The little fresh meat he raised is unparalleled. 5 years later, although Ji Xian still has a sense of youth, his charm of being in a high position all year round is undoubtedly evident. He is no longer a young man who women dare to hand over his room card when socializing. His eyes were wandering, and there was an unconscious ambiguity in his eyes, which was particularly alluring. Male and female stars are often made blushing by him. Rong Li is much more aloof and indifferent, drinking wine in a relaxed manner. He is handsome, charming, and unattainable. No strangers are allowed in. His eyes only fall on the jewelry worn by celebrities. It is a pity that he has 2 sons. If with a daughter, he can buy all the classic styles. Ji Sun exchanged WeChat messages with both celebrities. The two of them also worked very hard to please Ji Sun. The global spokesperson of Black Hawk is Lu Ziwen, but there are many brands under its brand and branch spokespersons are also very popular. Everyone wants a piece of the pie. The Black Hawks have relatively strict selection criteria, but they have a habit of renewing their contract as long as their character is good and there are no scandals. For their earliest food, they chose an experienced actor. Now, they have not changed their spokesperson in 9 years. This contract ensures that the veteran actor can select very good scripts every year. The popularity and reputation are soaring. The veteran actor is also very knowledgeable. Even if his net worth has doubled several times, the endorsement fee has not increased. This is an invisible resource line. Ji Huan never expected that after the enthusiastic female star joined him, she took the initiative to say hello, and all she asked was Rong Li. Ji Huan looked at the chat box with his chin up and looked at the chat box like a spirit. He looked up at her and the female star blushed a little embarrassed. This scene was more like Lang Yukingmei's intention. Rong Li frowned and said, "Please calm down." "What's wrong with me?" Ji Xian was overjoyed. "The big star fell in love with you at first sight. Like a peacock, does Zhang Junlin know that you are so flirtatious when socializing?" The sentence peacock is printed on Ji Sun's forehead. He is really more unjust than Doi. The next second, he pushed Rong Li's business card to the star Zhou Yunlin. "Ji Sun, you're welcome." Zhou Yunlin made a shy expression, and then asked Rong Li generously, "Mr. Rong, can you add a WeChat account? Our team has business and wants to contact you." "Just add Ji Sun," Rong Li said calmly. Zhou Yunlin is 30 years old this year. She debuted at the age of 18 and has been popular for more than 10 years. She has always been the focus of the crowd. Her strength and appearance are both outstanding. She is also the darling of major fashion bureaus. Some people are willing to spend a lot of money on a dinner for her. The reputation is also very good. The movie starring New Year's Eve has not been released yet, and the box office is the highest among several movies. There is no otaku who doesn't like the goddess Yunlin, and there is no WeChat where she takes the initiative but can't get it. She was visibly startled, but quickly came to her senses. Ji Xian said nonchalantly, "Their team wants to talk about smart home endorsements." "It's your responsibility, I don't care." Black Hawk Technologies' smart home spokesperson contract expired in 1 month. There were a lot of conditions for the renewal of the contract. Rong Li directly kicked the person away. There were so many spokespersons that he just needed to find a new one. The spokesperson has been representing the Blackhawks for a year and a half. I didn't expect that Rong Li would not go through the bargaining process and just replace him. I was also panicked. Recently, the management team has been anxious and has been looking for them to renew the contract with the original conditions. Rong Li has not made a decision yet. Ji Sun said, "I think Jo Yunlin is very suitable for the spokesperson standard." Rong Li finally took a look at Jo Yunlin. She has had scandals since her debut, but she is in a normal relationship. She has not been involved in any scandals. She works hard in filming and has a very good image. She has a rare appearance of a white flower. She has a very superior physique and many styles. Change. Smart home is a newly opened field for them, and they need a spokesperson with sufficient reputation and traffic. Jo Yunlin was all qualified, and it was Ji Xian who recommended him. Rong Li was still hesitating. Jo Yunlin, who is good at acting and familiar with body language, decisively added, "Rong Li, Mr. Rong, I'm adding you." Ji Xian tilted his head and looked at him with a half smile. Rong Li nodded and approved her application. The male star was also moved. "Mr. Rong, can I add your WeChat account?" "What, your team also has business to discuss with me?" The male star was momentarily embarrassed and silent. Ji Huan burst out laughing, "Sorry, I choked on my drink." End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 852. Chapter 852 Rong Li's Peach Blossom. Rong Li is indeed considering selecting a female spokesperson for Smart Home recently. Smart Home started late. When choosing a spokesperson the year before last, considering technology, a male spokesperson was chosen. Product sales have little to do with spokespersons in theory, they mainly depend on product quality and reputation. In recent years, the economy of live streaming sales has taken off. They have also tried to use live streaming as a spokesperson to bring goods, but the effect was not particularly good. This year, during the team meeting, they mentioned that they wanted to change female spokespersons for home products and find more approachable faces to speak for them. Jo Yunlin's description is really suitable. She is the most famous little white flower in domestic entertainment. It's not that it cannot be considered. Why is this male star joining in the fun? The male star was frightened by Rong Li and didn't dare to speak anymore. Ji Sun thought to himself, "Brother, don't be so scared." He means it literally. If you are scared and don't speak, he should be angry. Rong Li is indeed very unhappy. What's wrong? He wants to add WeChat and ask him if he has business to discuss, but he doesn't say anything, so why should he use WeChat? Ji Sun propped up his chin and almost laughed out loud. Next to him, Prince BG whispered to him, "Mr. Rong, do you always talk like this?" "Yes." The prince said, "It's scary." Ji Sun has a good network of connections and can quickly become friends with anyone. Next time I go to sea, I'll call him and we'll get together more often, and you'll know. When he was really irritable, it was not just verbal irritability. Forgive me, he is not from the same country as us. Be from the same country as me. Ji Sun and Rong Li were very generous. They bought all the jewelry worn by the two spokespersons. They were also the protagonists of the dinner. After the dinner, the brand organized a dinner party. Ji-sun and Rong Li also participated. BG Crown Prince is also a good socializer. He saw Ji-sun and Jo Yunlin flirting with each other, and even misunderstood Ji-sun. Shall I arrange for Jo Yunlin to sit next to you later? Okay, Ji-sun had no objection. Rong Li was beside him. He must have been drinking frequently. Aren't Jo Yunlin and Rong Li the only ones left? The prince gave a thumbs up. Aren't you afraid that your boss, Mr. Zhang, will beat you up? Why did you hit me? The prince was a little confused. Okay, as long as you are happy. Jo Yunlin was sitting next to Ji Xian. Ji Xian thought for a while and changed places with Rong Li. You and Jo Yunlin can just talk about endorsements. Rong Li frowned and saw that he was socializing enthusiastically with the people next to him, so he didn't say anything. He doesn't like to talk about cooperation at the dinner table, and he hasn't done any background checks yet. It's still a bit early to talk about cooperation. He needs to do some background work before deciding whether to meet in person. Jo Yunlin was particularly happy and seemed very proactive. What do you want to drink, Mr. Rong? Just champagne. Jo Yunlin stood up and poured champagne for him. The dress worn by the female celebrity to the dinner was low-cut and sexy. Her movements seemed to others to be very beautiful, and her good curves were clearly visible in front of Rong Li. Rong Li was indifferent, but he looked at her profile. When I looked at my face, a thought flashed through my mind. She and Qinwan look very similar. Perhaps they all have the appearance of little white flowers, and their bones are very good, and their faces look good when viewed from the side. What kind of cuisine does Mr. Rong like to eat? Can you eat spicy food? Jo Yunlin chatted casually. Yes, but I don't eat it often. Then you like Cantonese food? Forget it. Today's jewelry is considered my sales. Thank you very much. I will treat you to dinner another day. I know a Cantonese restaurant that is very authentic and the ingredients are very fresh. Jo Yunlin asked tentatively. Rong Li thought about it for a moment. Jo Yunlin's reputation has always been good. After he finished the back tune, he really wanted to talk to her. After the talk, it was considered etiquette to have dinner together. Okay. Jo Yunlin concealed her joy. Mr. Rong bought so many jewelry today, is it for his girlfriend? Or for his mother? This sentence stepped on Rong Li's minefield. Rong Li didn't get angry. After all, the girl didn't know anything about it. I won't give it away if I keep it. Jo Yunlin secretly thought that this meant she no longer had a girlfriend. She was afraid that she might get the wrong idea, so she asked Ji-sun. Jo Yunlin, Mr. Ji, does Mr. Rong have a girlfriend? Ji-sun, no. My wife doesn't have one, but the fat boy does have a pair. Moi. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 853. Chapter 853. That's because I'm thick-skinned. Ji Huan bought a lot of jewelry and went home, presenting it to Zhang Junlin like a treasure. Zhang Junlin knew that he was going to spend money when he heard that he was attending a jewelry dinner. The Zhang family has a lot of jewelry, both men's and women's, and many classic styles. Most of Zhang Junlin's jewelry were inherited. The jewelry that Zhang Minghua and the old man used when they were young are not outdated and fashionable today. It is a reincarnation and has a kind of retro luxury. Apart from custom-made cufflinks, he rarely buys any accessories. Since having Ji-sun, his jewelry cabinet has been stacked like a girl's, including jade plagues, Buddhist beads, tie clips, cufflinks, watches, etc., and even fancy sweater chains. Knowing that he won't wear them, he will. I bought the same model and semi-forced him to take photos with me when traveling. Infected by Ji-sun, he will also be keen to buy all kinds of earrings for Ji-sun. Do this year's super seasonal styles look good? I didn't look at the clothes. It's still half a month before their show. Do you want to see the clothes? Ji Xian raised his eyebrows. Zhang Junlin's clothes were all customized by him. Ji Xian admitted that he was a local dog. Anyway, he would customize 2 sets of one style. Wearing the same style as Zhang Junlin from time to time. 2 cousins from my grandma's family asked me to ask about their extra seasonal dresses. Cousin. Far away. Ji Xian spread his hands and tried on the watch he just bought today. I know his prince very well. I'll help you get some photos some other time. Zhang Junlin put on his watch. Ji Huan had good taste and was not a prodigal. The gifts he chose were all suitable for Zhang Junlin's temperament. Some of the flashy ones were not suitable, which was Ji Huan's own preference. You have quite a wide network of contacts. Zhang Junlin thought of a photo someone sent today and asked with a chuckle, I know people in the fashion and entertainment circles. Fashion and entertainment are the same circle, Ji Xian said. Long Fenglu's reputation is too loud, Black Eagle has covered enough fields, and our energy is limited, otherwise I would still want to rely on Long Fenglu to build a domestic clothing brand. What a good idea. Zhang Junlin tried on the cufflinks again and adjusted his sleeves slowly. Are you planning to get involved in the film and television industry recently? We have acquired 2 film and television companies, but we haven't found a suitable manager yet. We are just playing around and testing the waters for now. When we find a suitable manager, we will hand them over to professionals to run them. We will provide the money and collect the money. That's fine. Opinions don't matter. Ji Xian didn't shy away from discussing Black Eagle's plans with Zhang Junlin. What's wrong? You want to enter the entertainment industry too? Zhang Junlin chuckled and raised his hand. The cufflinks are good. Of course I have good taste, Ji Sun said. His spokesperson has a whole set of spokespersons. I took a look at it and felt that you are very suitable for you. Zhang Junlin asked with a smile, it looks good on others, so why buy it for me? Ji Sun came back to his senses and said, it looks so ugly on him. I knew as soon as I saw it that only you can control the set of jewelry. All I can think of is how you wear it. It's so fascinating to me. Zhang Junlin rubbed his face and couldn't help laughing. Ji Sun felt as sweet as honey and poked his waist. Who said anything to you? I didn't say anything, I just said you were handsome. To sow discord? Zhang Junlin chuckled. It was really not a matter of provoking dissension. It was just that it was inconvenient to tell Ji Sun the details. Ji Sun said, Rong Li also said that I flirted with them. It is the conscience of the world, so I just chatted with them normally. Zhang Junlin thought of the photos he had saved. The magnificent Ji Sun was chatting calmly and casually. Everyone became his background. His eyes were shining and he was looking forward to his posture. His every frown and smile had a kind of extreme sexual tension. Vanity Fair is really stunning and sleepy. How can they compare to my brother? Ji Sun rubbed his cheek, not even a hair can compare to him. Zhang Junlin is really not worried that Ji Sun will fall in love with someone else. He trusts Ji Sun very much and is very confident in himself. Speaking of which, I'm still a matchmaker. I'll see if Rong Li succeeds. This girl fell in love with him at first sight and added me on WeChat. She's all trying to find out what Rong Li likes. Zhang Junlin frowned. Rong Li. Zhou Yunlin likes him very much. We had a chance encounter with him a few months ago. She really wanted to get to know him, but unfortunately she didn't have any connections. This time, BG tried its best to invite Rong Li to the dinner party. Originally, I was the only one attending this kind of jewelry dinner. The other party specially invited Rong Li. I was told to bring Rong Li with me, but I didn't expect that this girl was interested. Ji Xian asked, do you know Zhou Yunlin? I know Hualin Bank invests in movies and TV stations, so it is natural that he knows the most popular movie queen. What does Rong Li mean? He likes Jin Wan, but Qin doesn't like him, so he can't hang himself from a tree, right? Zhang Junlin was silent for a few seconds. I didn't like you back then, so why did you hang yourself on a tree? Ji Sun, that's because I am thick-skinned and shameless. Zhang Junlin chuckled and said, so, the world is not yet determined, everything is possible. That's different. Wrongly can't do what I can do, Ji Sun concluded. With his temper, there is no chance. I will fly back to Hainan this afternoon. It may take 9 o'clock to get home. Will the update be late in the evening? End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 854. Chapter 854, A Brief Encounter. During the new year, all major companies were on holiday, and Rong Li had a lot of free time. The baby was too young to take out, so he could only go for a walk in a nearby park. Chen Liangdong and North took the baby over and took care of it until he left Haikan for a business trip. Come back and take the baby back to Universal. When the baby is not at home, Rong Li has more leisure time. Because of the baby's absence, Qin and him lose their bond and can no longer video chat. Rong Li was bored because of his idleness, so he simply asked someone to do Zhou Yunlin's backing. The spokesperson of Smart Home came to visit again, hoping to discuss with him again. Rong Li refused and left the person to the CEO of Smart Home to deal with it. Global is so big. The senior management also has a wide network of contacts. Whether it is for profit or resource replacement, everyone has selfish motives and wants to recommend a spokesperson. Rong Li will not refuse anyone who comes, and will have people hand over all the information. Fang Mingheng talked with him about the spokesperson issue. Coincidentally, Fang Mingheng also recommended Zhou Yunlin. Rong Li thought of Fang Mingheng's preferences. He liked Xiao Beihua's appearance. She was pure and innocent, and I felt pity for her. Zhou Yunlin has a top-notch pretty face, so it's normal for Fang Mingheng to like her. Work and private life must be separated. Did you recommend her because of your personal relationship? That's really unfair. My first love was her best friend. How could we be possible? I just think she has a good image and a good reputation. She is very suitable for home projects. She is purely business-oriented. If you don't like it, just refuse. Fang Mingheng said with a smile, this girl has great ideas and has been independent since she was a child. Don't be fooled by her image. She is not a little white flower who can be manipulated by others. This is quite similar to Qin. The type where looks are deceiving. These two top-notch little white flowers are black on the inside. Rong Li hesitated for a moment and asked Fang Mingheng, is your first love her best friend? I heard you mention it before that you broke up because of your first love best friend. It's a long story. It's all an old story. I don't mind it anymore, Fang Mingheng said with a chuckle. My first love got married and had a second child. Who is still holding on to things in high school. She and I don't. The grudge was a misunderstanding at the time and has long since been resolved. So, you recommended her purely because of her image and reputation. Yes, our Black Hawk spokespersons have always been of high quality and cannot be chosen at will anyway. There are many candidates, so you can choose slowly. You don't have to choose Zhou Yunlin. Rong Li got Zhou Yunlin's backing. His resume is really tough and very good looking. His performance is too gorgeous to refuse. He also has 2 high-end endorsements, and he is also the darling of the fashion bureau. Her boss is a strong woman who has protected her all the way. Although Zhou Yunlin comes from a poor background, she is very successful and has no messy scandals. She is very professional and has won 3 gold medals and a sky-high signing fee. Rong Li compared the lists of all candidates. To be honest, he liked Zhou Yunlin more. But Zhou Yunlin's endorsement fee is too expensive. Smart Home needs to sign a spokesperson, and can only pay half of the endorsement fee. After Rong Li made the decision, he sent a message to Zhou Yunlin. He did not have the contact information of Zhou Yunlin's agent, so it would be better to contact him directly. Wrongly, Ms. Zhou Yunlin, is it convenient to talk about the endorsement of Smart Home? There are some details that I want to discuss with you. It is up to you or the agent to discuss them. Zhou Yunlin replied instantly, Mr. Wrong, good evening, you are well. Just let me talk on behalf of you, but I have an event in Hiken recently and won't be able to return to Sitia until the 7th. If Mr. Wrong is in a hurry, I can catch the nearest flight back. If it's not urgent, we can meet and talk at the earliest on the evening of the 7th. Wrongly looked at his itinerary. He was going to Hiken on a business trip. The baby had been sent to Chen Liangdong's house. He could go to Hiken earlier. He had also established some connections in Hiken, so he could make arrangements if he went early. Wrongly, I'm going to Hiken on a business trip tomorrow, on the evening of the 5th and 6th. Which day is more convenient for you? Zhou Yunlin, on the 5th, I'm going to be a host and treat you to dinner. Wrongly, Miss Zhou is too polite, so it's settled. After Wrongly and Zhou Yunlin made an agreement, they asked the secretary to buy the air tickets. He didn't need to worry about the children. Ji Sun and Lu Ziwen also had their own families. Wrongly didn't stay in Universal for any longer and left for Hiken early. Hiken in January is neither cold nor hot, around 25 degrees Celsius, making it the best winter resort. After arriving in Hiken, Wrongly first went to the Black Eagle building. Black Eagle built a building in Hiken, recruited troops and built mature commercial facilities around the building, including shopping malls, hospitals, high-end residential areas, and parks, school and so on. It is relatively maturely developed and is very close to the seaside. When Wrongly went upstairs, he accidentally saw rows of armored vehicles passing downstairs. He knew that the army base was not very far from their building, and armored vehicles often passed by, but this was the first time Wrongly saw so many armored vehicles. The scene was spectacular, and many people gathered in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows to watch and take photos. Mr. Chen, general manager of the Hiken branch, said, the military region is conducting exercises recently. Troops and vehicles are coming in and out recently, which is very spectacular. If it is a naval exercise, we can still see artillery fire on the top floor. Wrongly stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window and couldn't help but wonder, if Qin Wan served in Hiken, would he be among this group of people? These rows of chariots are neat and solemn, symbolizing the most powerful force in the country. This should be the life Qin Wan longs for. Such a life is incompatible with him, just like he and she, they are always on two parallel lines, which briefly intersected due to force majeure, but returned to their original state. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 855. Chapter 855 missed. Wrongly and Ji Xian both like Hiken. It is a city with a livable climate and scenery. After the new policy was implemented, Black Eagle bought land here at a low price and built buildings to attract talents. It wants to be here, build a capital center. He and Ji Xian both bought houses in Hiken and frequently went on business trips. He was an acquaintance of Hiken. Every time he came to Hiken, he had a different feeling. The new year has just passed, and the work atmosphere is very relaxed. Wrongly arrived in a relatively low-key manner and did not cause a sensation. After checking the accounts, he looked at this year's development plan, and after a more than 3-hour meeting with the person in charge of Hiken, it's night. His house is only 2 kilometers away from the building. It is a small villa on the seaside. There is a housekeeper who takes care of it all year round. Although he rarely lives in it, the room is kept clean. He sat on the balcony, listening to the waves and blowing the sea breeze, drinking alone. He drank the green plum wine recommended by Qin Wan. Qin Wan would mail him 2 boxes of green plum wine every once in a while. He was suitable for this low-alcohol green plum wine. I am addicted to drinking recently. He didn't know whether it was a human addiction or an alcohol addiction. Wrongly took the phone and clicked on the photo album. In the evening, the sky was filled with red clouds. He took a photo of the sunset upstairs and sent it to Chinwan. He told Chinwan a few days ago that he was coming. Hiken just came early. 10 minutes, no one responded, and Wrongly got used to it. Chinwan's work is of a special nature, and sometimes he is not allowed to carry his mobile phone with him throughout the day. Chinwan was really busy today. Her team had just arrived in Hiken. They had to start network communications and equipment maintenance as soon as they landed. This time it was a fully information-based exercise. The tasks of their information department were very heavy and challenging. Their emergency capabilities. In order to ensure that each route of the exercise is smooth, 3 sets of emergency plans must be made. This is the first time Chinwan has participated in such a major exercise. He has no experience to draw from. Recently, he stayed up late watching the previous information exercises, trying to find and solve problems. And learned from experience, so she had no time to look at her mobile phone or even video chat with her baby. She only slept 4 hours a day, which was a serious lack of sleep. Before going to bed, she had time to look at her phone and saw the sunset picture that Wrongly sent her. Has he arrived in Hiken? Chinwan recognized Hiken at a glance, because the sunset picture he took included a warship. Looking at the angle, he knew it was taken from the Black Hawk Science and Technology building. Chinwan, the sunset is very beautiful. She had been busy all day today, and she raised her head to admire the sunset for a few seconds. The weather in Hiken is great, and the sunset is beautiful. It is rare to see such a beautiful sky in City A. She responded to the message at around 3 o'clock in the morning. Wrongly was fast asleep, and her phone briefly lit up. Chinwan knew that Wrongly must have gone to sleep, so she put down her phone and prepared to rest. Wrongly got up at 5:30 in the morning and saw Chinwan's reply. After Chinwan replied to him, he also sent a photo. It was a photo of the sunrise, taken on the top of the mountain. Wrongly felt it twitch in his heart when he saw the time when she replied to the message. Was he so busy so late? He wanted to reply to her message, but he was afraid that her phone was not on silent and would wake her up. Wrongly thought about waiting until dawn before replying to her message, so he got up and ran. People who live by the sea like to run along the coastline most. Wrongly always when I come to Hiken, I always get up early and run along the seaside, blowing the sea breeze and listening to the waves, which is especially comfortable. Until the sunrise on the sea, the morning light curls up. Wrongly took out his mobile phone, took a photo of the sunrise, and sent it to Chinwan. The phone vibrated, and he took it in surprise. He thought it was a message from Chinwan, but after seeing the message, his smile faded slightly. Good night. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 856. Chapter 856 The Enterprising Wrongly. Zhou Yunlin sent a message to Wrongly, but what he also sent was a sunrise picture. Zhou Yunlin, I've been busy all night to finish today's work. I'll take a nap and get up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Mr. Wrong, whenever is convenient after 2 o'clock. This is the restaurant I booked. It's on the beach, not far from the Black Eagle building. Far. She also sent a positioning. The sunrise picture was very beautiful. Wrongly didn't reply. Apart from meeting his partners in the morning and having lunch together, he had nothing to do afternoon. He quite likes people like Zhou Yunlin who explain things clearly. He also knows when to contact her. She is a smart person, and she can also see that she has a plan and an explanation for everything. Wrongly has a good impression of her. This quality is very important when choosing a spokesperson. When Wrongly and Ji Xian had a meeting, Wrongly also praised Zhou Yunlin. Ji Sun chuckled, "This girl is quite sensible. Sensible and smart. I sent a work end picture early in the morning, implying that I am hardworking and motivated, stayed up late, was very dedicated, and strived for impression points. What's the finishing touch? Her selfie. It's a sunrise picture. Why do you still think of people so frivolously? What are you doing taking selfies of people for no reason?" Ji Sun, frivolous. He flirted with Zhang Junlin. 3 selfies a day were too few, and he even took off his clothes to take them. So what does that mean? Are you sure that people take selfies to prove that they are dedicated? Since she is so active and you have the intention to choose her, she is a prospective partner. If you go to meet her and choose a gift, it will show that we are sincere. Wrongly originally wanted to give Zhou Yunlin a set of smart home products. It was the first time to discuss cooperation, so it was also etiquette to give a gift. But because her home was already equipped with smart home products, Wrongly changed her mind and asked her secretary to go to the mall to pick out a Hermes Birkin bag. You can't go wrong with this kind of gift, and if she doesn't like it, you can give it to someone else. After he and his partner had lunch, the secretary delivered the bag and said, "Mr. Wrong, do you want to take a look? There is only one color." No need. Gifts to others are just a courtesy, and they do not need to be carefully selected when given to a girlfriend. He and Zhou Yunlin made an appointment to meet at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He originally thought that Zhou Yunlin would bring his agent, but he didn't expect that Zhou Yunlin would come alone. She was dressed casually today, with light makeup and hair. She was full of energy, youthful and beautiful, like a college student. The star's physique is very good, and even with light makeup, she is so beautiful that you can't take your eyes away. Wrongly brought his secretary with him, but the secretary stood 2 meters away. They made an appointment for the afternoon and had afternoon tea first. They chose a private restaurant on the beach. The restaurant had its own private beach. The two of them sat on the beach, like a couple on a date. "This is a gift to Miss Zhou on behalf of Black Eagle." Wrongly handed over the bag in his hand. Zhou Yunlin knew what it was as soon as she saw the box. She was very surprised. It was too expensive. Wrongly said, "A small gift, a brief expression of my thoughts." Mr. Wrong is too polite. Although Zhou Yunlin was surprised, she didn't take it too seriously. She could afford such a gift. "Then I will thank Mr. Wrong." Wrongly was also very satisfied with her attitude. It was clean and tidy, and there was no drama of repeated refusals. "I also brought a gift to Mr. Wrong." Zhou Yunlin took the belt that had been beside him. "I hope you like it." She gave him a pen. He always carried a pen with him. When he was signing a check at the dinner that day, Ji Sun casually said that the pen had been changed. Zhou Yunlin kept it in mind and carefully selected a pen. The pen is black and Wrongly can use it every day. "Thank you, Miss Zhou." After the two exchanged gifts, they formally discussed cooperation. Wrongly was interested in Zhou Yunlin, and the conversation was relatively straightforward. Zhou Yunlin currently has no similar endorsements, no endorsements for competing products, dedicated work, and good reputation. These are the standards for endorsements. Wrongly first added a clause. If during the endorsement period, if a scandal occurs with an endorser and the product is affected, the endorsement will be automatically terminated and compensation will be 3 times the endorsement fee. Zhou Yunlin asked, "I want to first determine what kind of negative scandal it is. As artists, we sometimes get caught up in some rosy news, which may not be true. Some are to cooperate with the hype, and some are reporters' attention grabbers. I want to know what Mr. Wrong's standards are. Illegal crimes are all negative scandals. We don't care about pornographic news. Even if you are someone else's mistress, it is your private life. Tax evasion, drug abuse, etc., if the official declares illegal crimes, they are all scandals to us. Wrongly, she also knows the situation in the entertainment industry. It is impossible to ask her to be scandal-free at all, and gossiping about things will also affect a person's reputation and reputation. Okay, Jo Yunlin said cheerfully, add it to the contract, it's very reasonable. Let me make it clear that since my debut, I have never ruined other people's relationships or marriages. Wrongly was startled, that's an example, not a connotation for you. Okay, Jo Yunlin said with a chuckle. Wrongly saw that she was so cheerful and kind. Do you have any conditions for Miss Jo? It is an honor for me to be chosen as the spokesperson of the Black Hawks. Does it seem that I am particularly ignorant if I ask for more conditions? How could it be possible? As long as it is a reasonable condition, we will agree to it. Just kidding, I don't have any special conditions, and I will definitely cooperate with my work. Jo Yunlin also took the initiative to mention work matters. The Chinese New Year is coming soon, and household products are very popular. After the endorsement is announced, you can come up with a plan and I will broadcast it live. Bring the goods and see how it works. Wrongly secretly thought that this girl was too dedicated. He was about to bring up the matter of live streaming, so he took the initiative to bring it up. Okay, no problem, we can get it done before the year. Wrongly was eager that she would take the initiative to bring up the endorsement matter, so he was naturally willing to cooperate. Jo Yunlin said, on the day of the live broadcast, I don't know if Mr. Wrong is interested in live broadcasting with me. The effect will definitely be better. Why? Wrongly didn't understand why the effect would be better if he participated in the live broadcast. You are the boss, and I am a big star. We promote household products together, which is inherently popular. Coupled with Mr. Wrong's appearance and reputation, I feel that if we promote them together, we will get twice the result with half the effort. Wrongly knows a little bit about live streaming, and he also knows what the audience likes to watch nowadays. This is not difficult, let's wait for the team to plan. Wrongly is also a new try. Jo Yunlin said, nowadays, when bosses go to overseas markets to sell goods, their characters are very popular, especially those who are as mysterious and handsome as you. They are more topical and the audience will pay more. Wrongly raised his eyebrows and couldn't help but secretly thought that this job should be left to Ji Sun. He must be more qualified. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 857. Chapter 857. The Substitute Game. After the two negotiated, Wrongly gave the contract to Jo Yunlin. Jo Yunlin asked, I sent it to the agent and waited for her confirmation before replying. She is waiting for the contract and should read it soon. Not urgent. Mr. Wrong, we talked about business quite quickly. It's still early for dinner. Do you mind going to the beach for a walk? Wrongly was quite new. Okay, let's take a walk. The two of them went for a walk on the beach together, with the secretary following from a distance. Wrongly rarely got along so harmoniously with women, let alone walking on the beach together. When they were on a blind date, they were too purposeful. They talked about future plans and hobbies, but the content of his chat with the girl was not that pleasant. Moreover, Wrongly resisted others trying to explore his privacy, so the girl would think that he was rude and not sincere in the blind date. In addition, he had a bad temper. It's also very bad. He gives people a bad impression. Even if some girls are confused by his appearance, it's hard to tolerate his bad temper. Girls all like gentlemen. He lacks experience in getting along with girls. Every time he gets along with Qin Wan, he feels that the atmosphere is not right. He doesn't know what to say. Ji Sun has complained many times, but there is nothing he can do. Except for Qin Wan, this is the first time he has been so harmonious with a girl. Is it because Jo Yunlin has a good temper? Jo Yunlin is a wonderful person. She did not pry into Rong Li's privacy. They talked about Haiken's customs, food, and interesting things in the entertainment industry. She would not talk about people behind their backs. Even if Rong Li spoke a little rudely, she was not a conceited person, at least she would not think that Rong Li was deliberately targeting anyone like others. She just thought that this was Rong Li's habitual expression. He is humorous and proactive in finding topics, and is very comfortable to get along with. Rong Li also took the initiative to ask, "Is it very hard for you when filming? Do you often have to stay up late?" It was very hard at the beginning of the filming. Even if I had a little bit of fame, the director would not take special care of it. He had to wait nearby for the night scene. Once, I waited in the snow while waiting for the night scene, shivering from the cold. Originally I only had to wait for half an hour, but there was an accident in the previous scene and I had to wait for 4 hours. After the filming, the director felt too tired, it was almost dawn, and the environment was not right, so he asked me to go back. Later, my reputation gradually increased. Yes, you can make requests, but I try my best to cooperate with the crew during the filming. The staff behind the scenes actually have a harder time. However, I try not to shoot late-night scenes. Unless it is particularly urgent, I will call it a day. Today is the day. Staying up all night in an emergency, Jo Yunlin said in a gentle tone, "It's not hard work, nor is it leisure time. It's good you can make more movies while you are young. In a few years, when you get older and the domestic requirements for actresses are strict, you may not be able to find scripts you like." Jo Yunlin thought to herself, "Mr. Rong, you are really good at chatting." But with a smile on her face, she said, "Yes, I can still film for another 5 or 6 years. After 5 or 6 years, I will start to play a mother, and I will also have to face a transformation. It is indeed not very friendly." I didn't expect Mr. Rong to be so. The entertainment industry also understands. Black Hawk is also involved in the film and television industry, so you have to understand it, Rong Li said. I heard that Black Hawk has acquired several film and television companies. Mr. Rong, if there are any good opportunities in the future, don't forget me. You're not short of scripts, are you? You can get a discount if you act as a spokesperson, Jo Yunlin said humorously. Don't let the wealth flow to outsiders. Rong Li chuckled, "Okay, I'll find you when I get the chance." The secretary thought to herself that Ms. Yunlin Jo was really powerful this week and lived up to her reputation. With her demeanor and art of speaking, Mr. Rong rarely understood people so calmly. The two of them were walking on the beach. They looked like a young couple. After the walk, it was time for dinner and we went back to the restaurant to have dinner. We had a pleasant chat this time. Jo Yunlin had already told her that she was here to treat, so Rong Li didn't compete with her. After the meal, the agent sent the contract. He basically had no objections. The contract given by Ying was not that demanding. After briefly communicating the details, Rong Li and Jo Yunlin signed the contract. "Mr. Rong, it will be a pleasure to cooperate." Jo Yunlin stretched out his hand. Rong Li smiled and extended his hand. "Happy cooperation." The two also reached a consensus. Ji Sun and Zhang Junlin had just had dinner and went for a walk together. While replying to messages casually, they were surfing the internet and saw a hot search for Jo Yunlin's new relationship. Since they were acquaintances, they had heard her name all the time recently, so Ji Sun went in curiously. They were photos taken by several tourists. Jo Yunlin and Rong Li were walking on the beach. There were also videos. The two were chatting happily. Although there was nothing intimate, Rong Li didn't know what he said. Jo Yunlin laughed, and Rong Li also laughing along. The atmosphere was very relaxed and happy. In the photos and videos, they both look like a talented man and a beautiful woman, and they are a perfect match. Jo Yunlin is a 3-time Best Actress and is very popular. She only has one boyfriend who has been publicized. She has not had a new relationship in 4 years. Everyone is trying to find out Rong Li's identity, and it was soon revealed. The photo of Ji-sun and Rong Li in the BG Boss atmosphere was very popular. Someone compared the two photos. Fans of Jo Yunlin were overjoyed and sent their blessings one after another. Jo Yunlin and Rong Li soon swept the hot searches. Jo Yunlin's team found out and informed her. Jo Yunlin immediately spoke to Rong Li on the phone. "Mr. Rong, our photos on the beach were taken. The hot search topic now is my relationship with you. This was not bought by our team. I will issue a statement now. I will not affect you." She likes Rong Li very much, and she can see that Rong Li is a very distant man. She doesn't want to leave a bad impression on Rong Li. Rong Li frowned. He also saw the hot search and his identity was revealed. This was the first time in history. When clarifying, just say that we are talking about endorsements after you issue a statement. Blackhawks will also make an official announcement. "Okay," Jo Yunlin said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Rong, for causing trouble to you." Fine. Chin Wan finished work early today and had a meal with a group of soldiers in the cafeteria. She wanted to make a quick decision and go back to the dormitory early to video chat with the babies. Even if the babies didn't understand yet, she still felt happy watching them. "I'm lovelorn," Chen Changlin cried sadly while holding his mobile phone. Chin Wan raised his eyebrows. "When did you fall in love?" "My goddess, Jo Yunlin is in love, won't I be lovelorn?" As soon as these words came out, several men took their mobile phones to search for news. Chin Wan was not interested in these scandals. She also knew Jo Yunlin, the national goddess. Damn it, her boyfriend is a Blackhawk executive. As expected, big stars all marry into wealthy families. Looking at the photos, they look pretty good, so I gave up. Are Blackhawks executives so young? Rong Li seems to be in his early 30s. He is very young. He must be the second generation of rich people. He has good abilities. Chin Wan had no intention of listening to their discussion, but paused when she heard Rong Li's name. "What's the name of Jo Yunlin's boyfriend?" "Rong Li, one of the 3 giants of the Black Hawk," Chen Changlin said. "I have a question, Chin Wan. I think Jo Yunlin looks very similar to you. From certain angles, we look even more alike." Chin Wan. Moi. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 858. Chapter 858, Not in Love, but Having Children. Jo Yunlin is popular across the country, and Chin Wan also knows who she is. After winning the 3 Gold Grand Slam last year, she has become a household name. Many of her friends are fans of Jo Yunlin. Chin Wan is not very familiar with the entertainment industry, so she went out of her way to. After going to see Jo Yunlin's introduction, she was quite concerned after Chen Changlin said that she and Jo Yunlin were similar. "Where does it look like?" She was looking at Jo Yunlin's stills, red carpet photos, radiant. Chin Wan took her mobile phone and glanced at herself, who was naked and a little tanned. She felt like a village girl. How could she be compared with other big stars? Looks like. Chin Wan opened a hot search. In the video, Rong Li and Jo Yunlin were walking on the beach. The atmosphere was very romantic, and Rong Li actually smiled. This guy kept a straight face all day long, as if someone owed him a lot of money, and every smile. It's hard to see that when they were together, Rong Li's attitude was gentler and he smiled more after becoming pregnant, but when he was with Jo Yunlin, he smiled really softly. I have never heard that he knew Jo Yunlin. Chin Wan also knew that she had no position, so she politely rejected Rong Li more than once. Rong Li wanted to find new emotions and was attracted to others. She should not be jealous or have any emotions. The only thing she cares about is whether Jo Yunlin will be good to her babies. But it's not that Jo Yunlin is good to the babies, she doesn't have any grudges at all. Chinwon was in a state of confusion. North made a video call with her as promised and asked her to watch the babies. Chinwon cheered up and interacted with the babies. The babies were quite excited when they heard their mother's voice, especially Dabeo, who was as happy as he understands what the adults are saying and makes them laugh. Neither North nor Chen Liangdong like surfing, so naturally they are unaware of the turmoil on the internet. When Chinwon was interacting with the babies, Chen Liangdong also told Chinwon to use more sun protection and start the drill tomorrow. He would communicate with Chinwon based on his own experience and hope that she would perform well in the drill. Chinwon was a little absent-minded. North and Chen Liangdong also mistakenly thought that she was too tired and they didn't video chat for long. The girl Chinwon slept with was a doctoral student named Jongguo. She was 31 years old. After graduation, she broke up with her boyfriend due to career choices. She joined the army and her boyfriend went to a large internet company. The two had different ideas. After the breakup, her boyfriend regretted it and tried to get her back twice. Jongguo was soft-hearted and could not bear to get back together after many years of relationship. As a result, her boyfriend cheated on her, accusing her of being busy at work, not accepting long-distance relationships and online relationships, etc. Jongguo had been depressed for a while, and Chinwon got drunk with her. They were both busy preparing for an exercise recently. Jongguo lamented that work is indeed a good medicine for healing a broken love. When he was busy, he even forgot about being sad. "Your baby is so cute, I'm so hungry." Jongguo saw Chinwon's video and also saw the photos of the babies. "Originally, I planned to get married and have a baby after graduation. I will consider it after the baby is born. I didn't expect my plan to keep up with the changes. Now I have no partner and no baby, so I can only serve the country faithfully and hope that the country will give me a boyfriend. Have you completely overcome your broken love? What should I do if I don't come out? If I have been recovering for a year or two, the best time has passed. Now I have figured it out. Let it go. It is my fate. It will always be mine, not mine. You can't force it." Jongguo chuckled and said, "I envy you for having a baby. In fact, I also want a baby. It doesn't matter whether I have a husband or not." Chinwon thought of Rong Li. This was her original plan. After having a baby, she was busy with work and could not provide Rong Li with stable emotional value or companionship. She was away from home all year round, so how could she maintain a relationship? But he was seriously planning for the future, and he was not a man who was drunk now. Every time she thought that Rong Li was seriously planning for the future, she didn't know what to do. She turned sideways and looked at the photo of the two of them on her phone. During the vacation, they took many photos. The photographer took the photos, and so did she. She also secretly took several photos of Rong Li. Chinwon thought of Rong Li and Jo Yunlin. The man is talented and the woman is good-looking, and they are a perfect match. If they are together, Rong Li should be very happy. Chinwon originally wanted to meet Rong Li, but now she gave up the idea. She put down her phone and breathed a long sigh of relief, seemingly letting go of her labor pain and unwillingness. Who can have a perfect life? If there are any shortcomings, then there will be shortcomings. Embrace your shortcomings openly. Jo Yunlin's team clarified the scandal, claiming that she and Rong Li were only discussing cooperation and were currently single and not in a relationship. After Jo Yunlin issued a clarification, fans of Twin Flowers complained about her cheating. In less than 10 minutes, Black Hawk officially issued a statement, officially announcing that Jo Yunlin has become the spokesperson of Black Hawk's smart home. He is not a branch spokesperson, but a full-line spokesperson. In 20 days, Jo Yunlin's contract will expire. Become the new spokesperson. After the official announcement, Jo Yunlin's fans went wild. Both parties have clarified the scandal, So naturally there are no hot searches for love, but the video of the two of them is so perfect that they match each other, attracting many CP fans. The boss and the big star have a lot of CP fans. Whether it's their characters or their appearance, they are like the real ones from the books. Fans and passers-by automatically knock CP fans, but wrongly doesn't need to pay attention to it. Because of this wave of hot searches, it has also driven the popularity of smart homes. The marketing team will naturally work hard and will not withdraw the popularity, so it has been floating around for 2 days. When Rong Li was socializing in Haikan, he was asked if he was in love with Zhou Yunlin. "I'm not in love," who is spreading rumors, Rong Li said, "I'm not in love, but I have a child." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 859. Chapter 859. The handsome guy downstairs. Black Hawk's team in Haikan are familiar with Rong Li considering Qin Wan's status. Rong Li has never given birth to a child, but Ji Sun has done so diligently. Gu Ziu is right to complain. He feels that it is Ji Sun's child. Excited. Rong Li doesn't mind others knowing that he has a baby. He doesn't like others to spread rumors. Zhou Yunlin occasionally contacts him, always talking about work matters. Apart from work matters, he seldom talks, and he doesn't want to ruin other people's feelings. Reputation. Rong Li was in Haikan until the 7th after work. He made an appointment with several executives to relax together and go to hot springs together. Haikan is hot all year round and there is a natural hot spring mountain. Many hot spring hotels have been built in the mountain. There are natural hot springs in the hotel, and every room also has a hot spring pool, which is very suitable for relaxation and team building. When they came to Wenquan Mountain, they saw many cars with military plates driving into the mountain one after another. Rong Li frowned and looked at them a few more times because of Qin Wan. They booked the best hotel in Wenquan Mountain, which was halfway up the mountain. There were many vehicles with military license plates parked at the door. After Rong Li checked in, he asked why there were so many military vehicles. The front desk told them that the base was undergoing an exercise recently. The exercise just ended today. Many soldiers had holidays and came to Hot Spring Mountain to soak in the hot springs and rest for a night. Rong Li knew it, but the front desk said, fearing that he would feel constrained, each guest room has a dedicated hot spring pool, and the space is very private. Okay. The guest rooms in the hotel are composed of small villas. They are all townhouses. The villas have 2 floors and 2 rooms on the first floor. Rong Li rented 3 small villas. They are all Black Eagle people and are not afraid of being disturbed. After the others arrived at the hotel, they met to go to the swimming pool outside. The hot spring pool in the hotel could only accommodate 2 people at most. Rong Li liked quietness, so he didn't join in the fun with them. He rested alone in the room. The scenery and hot springs of Hot Spring Mountain are famous throughout the country. The light in the afternoon is very good, and the view of the hotel's hot spring pool is also very good. He can see many people over there in the large hot spring pool. He can also see the scenery in the hotel. The girls were looking for beautiful scenery to take pictures of. Because it was an open-air hot spring pool, the sunshine was very good. There was a banana tree planted downstairs. The bananas were ripe. Rong Li could pick ripe bananas with his hand and eat them. He was drinking green plum wine and was a little heady from the hot spring water. He closed his eyes and enjoyed the rare tranquility. Suddenly he heard a burst of laughter and a voice that he was very familiar with. Relax a little, yes, tuck your chin, okay, keep it there. Rong Li suddenly opened his eyes and turned to look. The townhouses in the hotel were all built on the mountain. His room was on the mountainside with a good view. There was an artificial scenic spot next to it that was very beautiful for taking pictures. There were flowers and water. Rockery, he just saw a lot of people taking pictures. Chinwan was taking photos of Jongguo. It was Jongguo's first time coming to Haikan and she quite liked the weather in Haikan. The two of them were wearing military green t-shirts, trousers, and military uniforms. Chinwan was not wearing a hat and had her hair tied up. With her hair in a ponytail, Jongguo swayed in front of the flower tree as the light and shadow swayed. Wrongly recognized Chinwan when he saw his profile. From his angle, he could only see Chinwan's silhouette. He also deliberately moved in the hot spring pool to find an angle where he could see his whole body. It's Chinwan. He thought the voice was similar, but he didn't expect it was her. Why is she in Haikan? By the way, it was a drill. She was doing a drill in Haikan. Why didn't she tell him? He clearly told her that he was on a business trip in Haikan. Wrongly looked at Chinwan intently. After she took the photo with Jongguo, she changed the background and Jongguo also took the photo for her. The two had a great time. And soon two tall men came over, who should be their comrades. As soon as they came over, they put their arms around each other, and Chinwan and Chen Liangdong high-fived them. Chen Changlin hugged Chinwan and said, "Jongguo, take a photo for us. Whoever wants to take a photo with you, please start. We have known each other for such a long time and have never taken a photo. Come on, come on." Chen Changlin pulled Chinwan to take a group photo together. Wrongly could see clearly from upstairs and said that he would not take a photo, but he could after the camera was fixed. Chinwan changed his expression instantly, and the two took a very natural photo. Youth is full of youth, and life is wanton. Wrongly leaned against the hot spring pool and watched Chinwan and his comrades disappear from his sight while talking and laughing. He took the phone and wanted to say to Chinwan, "I saw you," but he deleted it again. Wrongly thought about it for a long time, deleting and subtracting, and sighed helplessly. No matter how difficult the project negotiation was, he never so sad. "Wrongly, are you busy today?" He spent a long time deleting, and typed 4 words. Chinwan returned quickly. "Chinwan, not busy, just got busy and taking a rest." "Wrongly, is the weather good in Dongcheng?" "I saw the weather forecast said it would rain." "Chinwan, I have a mission with the army and am not in Dongcheng." Chinwan is very honest. Usually when the conversation reaches this point, Wrongly is very sensible and won't ask her about her specific location. "Wrongly, my work in Haikan has also ended. I am building a team with my partners and will go home tomorrow." Chinwan looked at the message sent by Wrongly and was a little distracted. He was still in Haikan. It was not impossible to meet him if he really wanted to meet. Haikan was so big and the transportation was very convenient. Although her movements were restricted, she was free at night. It won't be a waste to have a meal together. But she felt it was unnecessary. Maybe Wrongly had brought Zhou Yunlin with him when he was talking about team building. After all, they had just agreed to cooperate. How embarrassing it would be if we met. Chinwan didn't come back. Wrongly took a deep breath, but still couldn't control his hand. He checked Chinwan's guest room. Coincidentally, Chinwan's guest room was right in front of him. Chinwan and Jongguo did not go to the big hot spring pool to join in the fun, but played in the hot spring pool in the hotel. Jongguo lay down by the hot spring pool to enjoy the scenery and suddenly said, "Chinwan, come quickly, there is a handsome guy." "There are so many handsome guys in the hotel today, what's so strange about it?" "He is not in our team, he is not wearing a military uniform." "How handsome?" "The kind that can stun me." "He is more handsome than my idol, mainly because of his figure." Chinwan was pulled aside by Jongguo and followed her finger to look at the handsome guy downstairs. Chinwan. Moi. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 860. Chapter 860. The Child's Father. Qinwan never expected that Rongli was also in the hot spring mountain. There were more than 10 hotels in the hot spring mountain, but they stayed in one hotel. Half of the rooms in this hotel were booked by them. Rongli was so people who like quiet have not changed hotels yet. Zhangguo said excitedly, "He's so handsome. It's rare to see such a great guy. His wife is so beautiful." Qinwan asked dumbfounded, "What if I don't have a wife?" "No way, this is the best. If you don't have a girlfriend or wife, then you have a boyfriend." Zhangguo admired Rongli's figure. "The clothes are also good. Of course, I still think the uniform clothes of our children are more beautiful." Nice. Rongli seemed to be taking pictures of the scene. There were many people taking pictures of the scene where they had just taken the picture. Qinwan was soaking in the hot spring and took his phone to watch the conversation between her and Rong Li. Did he see her? Qinwan swept the bath towel and wrapped herself out of the bath. Zhangguo asked, "Don't you want to take a bath? It's only been 20 minutes. I have something to do, so I'll go out first." She changed her clothes, put her hair down, and simply blow-dried it. Just as she was about to go out, she looked back at the mirror. She randomly grabbed a few handfuls of her hair and made it into a messy and beautiful style. After applying a layer of skincare products, she put on her hair. Apply isolation cream. After applying the base cream, the blemishes on her face were covered up, making her skin look fairer and rosier. After finishing everything, Qinwan went out to find Rongli. Rongli was leaning casually on the edge of the rockery and was talking on the phone with someone. It seemed to be business, and his face was very serious. Qinwan did not disturb him and just looked at him on the hillside. The afternoon sun was very bright, and the whole hotel and villa was very lively with people coming and going. Rongli stood out from the crowd, and he could be seen almost at a glance. Qinwan raised the corners of his lips slightly, and just as he was about to walk over, he suddenly saw Zhou Yunlin. Zhou Yunlin was wearing a small white dress and a beach hat. She went back to the hotel with her assistant. She must have just returned from the beach. It is only 6 kilometers away from the beach. It is very close. Many people play on the beach during the day and return to the hotel at night. It was very pleasant to soak in the hot spring. Zhou Yunlin and his assistant walked towards Rongli, and Qinwan smiled. Rongli just hung up the phone and didn't expect to run into Zhou Yunlin. "Didn't she go back to City A?" "Mr. Rong, what a coincidence, you are also here on vacation." "It's a coincidence. Didn't you go back to City A?" Zhou Yunlin said with a smile, "I have a temporary change of work. I have 2 days of private time, so I came here for vacation in the morning. I didn't expect to meet you. We are destined to meet you. Can we have dinner together in the evening?" The last time we discussed cooperation, Zhou Yunlin invited him to dinner. As a courtesy, he also wanted to return the invitation. He looked back at the small villa where Qinwan lived and said softly, "I have something to do tonight. When I return to City A, I will treat you as a host." "Okay, then I'll wait for Mr. Rong's call, so I won't disturb you for now." Zhou Yunlin left with his assistant. The assistant said, "Sister, you like Mr. Rong so much. We finally met by chance, and we were in a hotel. You should be more active and don't miss it." "I have taken the initiative," Zhou Yunlin said. "Mr. Rong doesn't seem to be interested in me at all. With more contact, feelings can be cultivated." Zhou Yunlin chuckled. Rongli looked at her with a very calm look, without any lust, and without any trace of a man looking at a woman. She was frustrated, at a loss, and didn't know how to express her feelings. Zhou Yunlin was thinking, should she make it clear? She has met countless people and has been in the entertainment industry for more than 10 years. It can be seen that Rong Li is not a person who cares about other people's emotions. It should be said that people who don't care about the emotions of strangers will not read too much into her overly attentiveness. Her behavior was regarded as her being diligent for the sake of endorsement. If she didn't make it clearly, he might not understand. In the small villa, Qin Wan came back expressionless. Zhang Guo asked, "You're back so soon?" "It's done." Zhang Guo called her over and said, "I just saw Zhou Yunlin. Oh my god, she is such a beauty. You can feel her aura from such a distance. She and that handsome guy actually know each other. Are they in love?" "I don't know." Qin Wan looked at the mirror. "Are Zhou Yunlin really similar to her?" Qin Wan took a deep breath and didn't know who to be angry with. After sitting in silence for a while, his phone rang and Rong Li sent a message. "Rong Li, I saw you at the Hot Spring Mountain Hotel. Let's go out for a walk and have a meal together in the evening." Qin Wan, "No time." "Rong Li, I'll wait for you in the hotel's self-service lobby." Qin Wan, "You can't understand that I'm rejecting you." Rong Li, "I can't understand." Qin Wan. Qin Wan also knew that she was in no position to be angry. She took a deep breath and glanced down. Rong Li was not chatting with Zhou Yunlin. She was walking back alone. She got up and went out. "Zhang Guo, why did you go out again?" Qin Wan and Rong Li's guest rooms were 10 meters apart in a small 2-story villa on the hillside, separated by banana trees and green plants. Rong Li walked up the hillside and passed her door. Qin Wan bumped into him as soon as he came out. He smiled and raised his hand. What a coincidence, the child's father. Rong Li. End of this chapter.